Another important thing that you're doing by sharing these stories, we've witnessed today you're here at a local high school. How often are you going into schools and talking to students?
I tried that in Toronto. I've spoken to 4 schools in Toronto. I feel that the perception of the Holocaust can best be understood when you're young. When you're old, your ideas are pretty well fixed, and it's harder to break down the walls of prejudice or to break down any walls you built because you don't want to recognize what may be obvious or is not to your liking. But children are more pliable. And they're not children, they're teenagers. It's a difficult year. I know as a parent, I had 3 of them at one time. It's a tough time to be in, but their minds are open if you can reach them. And I find that when I tell them that these are not stories of adults, but stories of 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds, they seem to relate to the fact, that's my age. What do these kids do? And when I tell them what they did in a roundabout way, because I don't want to reveal the storyline, it's amazing how they try to wheedle the information out of me. I have it here today, which was, I was glad, because I caught their attention. There were 6 of them trying to get me to give the conclusion to a story, but it's in the book. It's not that the book is propaganda. It has nothing to do with propaganda. It's a story of a person and what he went through and what he became afterwards when he came to Canada. The environment here was allowed him to free up his horrors and to take all the energy and make something with it. I'm a firm believer that one person makes a difference. One person can change a life. A German commandant freed a boy in one of my stories because he liked the way he shined his shoes. A Gestapo told 2 boys get lost when he heard they had no mother and father, and almost 80% ended up in Buchenwald. The impulse, the gesture, bad people with, I wouldn't say a heart of gold, but an impulsive reaction that made a difference. And what happened to these 2 boys? One of them got to America, lived in Detroit, joined the American Air Force in 1941, went back and became a bombardier, and then became the 2nd Air Force pilot of Israel during the War of Independence. That man did not realize who he was releasing, and that boy did not know that he was going to touch history. So we do affect each other. We just don't know when. Cell phone rings in a station master's office in Bydgoszcz, Poland, 1956. He writes down a 20-word telegram. The telegram is good news. It's to go to the chief of police of the district in Bydgoszcz. He calls his brother-in-law to deliver the telegram. Brother-in-law is not too happy because Joseph Jozakovich, who is the police chief, has a reputation for being a son of a bitch, and everybody's afraid of him. So he bicycles over to the police station, comes in, says to the sergeant, I have a telegram for Jozakovich, it's good news. Sergeant asks for the telegram, he wouldn't give it to him because he has to sign his book. He takes the messenger to the office, knocks on the door, says to Jozakovich, there's a telegram here, good news. Jozakovich gives the man a mean stare, takes the telegram, signs his name, messenger runs out fighting. They both laugh at the scare they put on the poor soul, and he opens up the telegram, sergeant goes back to his desk. He reads the 20 words. It becomes pale, hand shakes, breaks out in a sweat. He stands, he stares at the words, trying to understand what they mean. He folds the telegram up and puts it back in the envelope. He goes to his drawer and removes a revolver. Takes the revolver outside to the back of the police station, looks around, places the gun against his temple, and pulls the trigger. His head explodes, collapses to the ground in a sitting position. The sergeant races out when he hears the shot, sees his superior dead, comes over there and touches the man's heart to see if he's alive, and the body falls forward, exposing the telegram in the back pocket. He takes it out, opens it, and reads the 20 words. And he says, I don't understand why Jozakovich committed suicide after receiving such good news. And if you want to know what the telegram said, you're going to have to read my book. My purpose here is not to sell books as I speak, but to make the book available to those who come after I've gone.